Welcome to Dark Stoic. Today, we explore the uncomfortable truth about mental weakness, why modern society has produced the most fragile generation in human history, and how the ancient Stoics built minds that could withstand torture, exile, and death itself. We will examine the 7 pillars of mental weakness, the psychological warfare being waged against your mind, and the brutal training methods that transformed ordinary men into philosophical warriors. The year is 105 AD. A plague is sweeping through the Roman Empire, killing thousands daily. Bodies pile in the streets. Soldiers desert their posts. Citizens flee in terror. And one man, the most powerful ruler on earth, sits calmly in his tent, writing in his personal journal by candlelight. That man was Marcus Aurelius, and instead of crumbling under the weight of an empire in chaos, he wrote these words: "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." This was not positive thinking. This was not denial. This was the product of decades of mental conditioning that most people today cannot even comprehend. While Marcus faced plague, war, and betrayal with an unshakable mind, modern humans crumble when their internet goes out for an hour. The gap between ancient resilience and modern fragility is not an accident. It is the result of systematic weakening that has occurred over generations. Let us be brutally honest about where we stand. The average person today is mentally weaker than at any point in recorded history. We have more comfort, more safety, more entertainment, more medication, and less ability to handle basic adversity than our ancestors who survived famines, wars, and plagues without therapy apps. This is not an insult. It is a diagnosis. And like any diagnosis, it is the first step toward a cure. Seneca understood this 2,000 years ago when he wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. Most people are not investing their mental resources. They are hemorrhaging them on distractions, complaints, and the endless pursuit of comfort that makes them weaker with each passing day. The first pillar of mental weakness is the addiction to comfort. Modern society has engineered an environment where discomfort is treated as an emergency. Too hot? Adjust the thermostat. Hungry? Food appears at your door in minutes. Bored? Infinite entertainment streams into your pocket. Lonely? Swipe through faces until dopamine hits. This is not progress. This is domestication. You are being trained like livestock to be docile, dependent, and incapable of self-regulation. Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and lived with a crippled leg from abuse, taught his students something radically different. He said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. In case of any difficulty, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a rough young man. For what purpose? So that you may become an Olympic conqueror." The Stoics did not avoid difficulty. They sought it. They understood that comfort is a slow poison that weakens the mind while feeling pleasant. Consider this. Your great-grandparents likely worked physical labor from childhood, survived without climate control, grew or hunted their own food, and faced death regularly through disease and accident. They did not have the luxury of mental weakness. Reality would have killed them. Today, we have removed almost every selection pressure that forced humans to be strong, and we are witnessing the consequences. The second pillar of mental weakness is emotional slavery. Most people believe they have no control over their emotions. They think anger happens to them. They believe sadness invades them. They assume anxiety attacks them from outside. This is perhaps the most dangerous lie in modern psychology. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are the creator of them. Marcus Aurelius wrote with absolute clarity, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." Read that again. The most powerful man in the ancient world, facing pressures most of us cannot imagine, declared that external events do not cause your suffering. Your interpretation causes your suffering, and your interpretation is entirely within your control. This is not about suppressing emotions or pretending they do not exist. It is about understanding the machinery of your own mind. When something happens, there is a gap between the event and your response. In that gap lives your freedom. Most people have never even noticed this gap exists because they react so quickly and so automatically that stimulus and response seem like one continuous motion. The Stoics trained themselves to widen this gap, to insert reason between event and reaction, to choose their response rather than be controlled by circumstance. Seneca explained the mechanism. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about the last week of your life. How much of your distress was caused by things actually happening versus things you imagined might happen? How many hours did you spend rehearsing conversations that never occurred? How much energy did you waste on scenarios that existed only in your mind? This is the hallmark of a weak mind. It tortures itself with fantasies while ignoring the only moment that actually exists, now. The third pillar of mental weakness is external validation addiction. Most people have outsourced their sense of worth to others. They need likes, comments, praise, recognition, and approval to feel acceptable. They wake up and immediately check what others think of them. They modify their behavior, their opinions, even their appearance based on anticipated reactions from strangers. This is psychological slavery of the most complete kind. Epictetus was relentless on this point. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." This is not arrogance, it is freedom. When your sense of worth comes from within, when your self-evaluation is based on your own standards rather than the shifting opinions of others, you become immune to manipulation through praise or criticism. Consider how this weakness is exploited. Social media companies employ thousands of engineers whose entire job is to hijack your need for validation. Every notification is designed to create a small hit of approval. Every metric gamifies your worth. You become a performer, dancing for algorithmic approval, measuring your value in engagement statistics. And with each performance, you reinforce the neural pathways of external dependence. You make yourself weaker. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still reminded himself how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only to what he does himself, that it may be just and pure. The Emperor of Rome did not concern himself with the opinions of others. He concerned himself only with his own conduct, his own virtue, his own progress. This is a mindset that creates mental strength. This is what most people have never experienced. The fourth pillar of mental weakness is present moment absence. The human mind has evolved to time travel. It replays the past and simulates the future. This was adaptive for survival. It allowed us to learn from mistakes and anticipate threats. But in the modern environment, this capacity has become a curse. Most people spend their entire lives mentally absent from the only moment that exists. You are sitting here listening to these words, but how much of your attention is actually here? Part of your mind is likely planning what to do later, reviewing something that happened earlier, or worrying about something that may never happen. This fragmentation of attention is mental weakness. It means you cannot fully engage with anything. It means you are always partially elsewhere. It means your mind controls you rather than you controlling your mind. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Never value anything as profitable that compels you to break your promise, lose your self-respect, hate any man, suspect, curse, act the hypocrite, or desire anything that needs walls or curtains. He was describing a life of complete presence and integrity, where every action aligns with every value, where there is no hidden self that operates differently than the public self. This kind of coherence is impossible without presence. It requires moment-to-moment awareness of what you are actually doing and why. Seneca put it differently. True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he who is so wants nothing. This is not passive acceptance. It is active engagement with reality as it actually is, rather than constant mental escape into fantasy versions of past and future. The fifth pillar of mental weakness is responsibility avoidance. Modern culture has created an elaborate system for evading personal responsibility. Nothing is ever your fault. Your childhood caused your problems. Society oppressed you. Your brain chemistry betrayed you. Your circumstances limited you. Someone else is always to blame. This victim mentality feels comfortable because it removes the burden of change. If your problems are caused by external forces, you do not have to do the hard work of changing yourself. The Stoics demolished this cowardly philosophy 2 millennia ago. Epictetus, remember, was a slave. He did not choose his circumstances. He was owned by another human being. His leg was deliberately crippled by his master. And from this position of absolute external disempowerment, he taught, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." He took complete responsibility for his inner world despite having no control over his outer world. This is the opposite of modern victimhood. You may have been dealt a terrible hand. Your childhood may have been traumatic. Your circumstances may be genuinely difficult. None of this changes the fundamental truth. You are responsible for what you do with what you have been given. Blaming external forces may feel good temporarily, but it ensures you will never change. It locks you in a prison of helplessness where you wait for the world to fix you while the world continues not to care. Marcus Aurelius, who could have blamed anyone and had them executed, wrote instead, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is responsibility in its purest form. Stop discussing, stop debating, stop explaining, stop blaming. Simply become what you wish to be through relentless action. This requires accepting that you are the primary cause of your own condition and the primary agent of your own transformation. The sixth pillar of mental weakness is pain avoidance at all costs. Modern humans have been conditioned to flee from any form of discomfort. Physical pain, emotional pain, social pain, psychological pain, all of it is treated as unacceptable, as something to be medicated, avoided, or eliminated. This pain avoidance reflex seems rational. Why suffer when you do not have to? But it creates minds of glass that shatter at the first real challenge. Seneca prescribed deliberate discomfort. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition that I feared?" He practiced poverty while wealthy. He experienced hardship while comfortable. He inoculated himself against misfortune by regularly experiencing it voluntarily. This is the opposite of modern avoidance. Pain is information. It tells you where you need to grow. It reveals your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It builds tolerance so that future pain becomes manageable. Athletes understand this for the body. They deliberately experience physical discomfort to become physically stronger. But most people never apply this principle to the mind. They avoid all mental discomfort and wonder why their minds remain weak. Epictetus was explicit. On the occasion of every accident that befalls you, remember to turn to yourself and inquire what power you have for turning it to use. Every difficulty, every pain, every setback is raw material for growth. But this conversion requires engaging with the pain rather than running from it. It requires examining your suffering rather than merely medicating it away. The Stoics walked toward what hurt them because they understood that this was the path to unbreakable strength. The seventh pillar of mental weakness is the illusion of permanence. Most people live as if they will live forever. They postpone, delay, procrastinate. They waste years on trivial pursuits. They avoid difficult conversations, important decisions, and necessary changes. They act as if they have infinite time when the reality is that death could arrive at any moment. Marcus Aurelius meditated on death constantly. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This was not morbid pessimism. It was strategic awareness. When you truly understand that your time is limited, everything becomes clearer. The trivial falls away. The essential emerges. You stop wasting your life on things that do not matter because you feel the urgency of the clock. Seneca was even more direct. Let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Imagine if you approached every single day as if it might be your last. How would your priorities change? What would you stop doing? What would you finally start? This is not about living in fear. It is about living with appropriate urgency. Now let us turn from weakness to strength. How did the Stoics actually build their unbreakable minds? This was not philosophy as academic exercise. This was practical psychological training that produced real results. They had specific methods, specific practices, specific disciplines that transformed ordinary humans into philosophical warriors. The first Stoic training method is negative visualization. This is the deliberate practice of imagining the worst possible outcomes. Lose your job, lose your loved ones, lose your health, lose your life. Most people avoid these thoughts because they are unpleasant. The Stoics embraced them precisely because they were unpleasant. This practice serves multiple purposes. It prepares you emotionally for real losses when they occur. It generates gratitude for what you currently have by reminding you it could disappear. It reduces attachment by repeatedly practicing letting go in imagination. Seneca recommended, "Nothing happens to the wise man against his expectation." We should project our thoughts ahead of us at every turn and have in mind every possible eventuality, instead of only the usual course of events. By imagining disasters in advance, you steal their power. When they actually occur, they feel familiar rather than shocking. You have already rehearsed your response. You have already processed the initial emotional impact. You meet catastrophe as an expected guest rather than an invading stranger. The second Stoic training method is the dichotomy of control. This is the most fundamental concept in Stoic psychology. Epictetus stated it with perfect clarity. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. Most mental suffering comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. You want other people to behave certain ways. You want events to unfold according to your preferences. You want the world to conform to your expectations. When it does not, you suffer. The Stoic solution is radical acceptance of what you cannot control combined with total focus on what you can control. You cannot control whether you get the job. You can control how well you prepare for the interview. You cannot control whether someone loves you. You can control how you treat them. You cannot control whether you get sick. You can control how you respond to illness. This reorientation is not resignation. It is strategic focus. You stop wasting energy on the impossible and redirect it toward the possible. The third Stoic training method is voluntary discomfort. The Stoics deliberately practiced being uncomfortable. Cold exposure, fasting, simple clothing, hard beds, physical labor. This was not masochism. It was inoculation. By regularly experiencing discomfort voluntarily, they reduced their dependence on comfort and expanded their tolerance for hardship. Seneca wrote, "It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. While fortune is bestowing favors on it, then is the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs." When life is good, that is precisely when you should practice for when life is bad. Do not wait for catastrophe to build your resilience. Build it now through deliberate practice. Modern applications are straightforward. Take cold showers. Fast periodically. Sleep on the floor occasionally. Walk instead of drive. Choose the difficult path when you have the option of easy. Each small discomfort is a deposit in your resilience account. Each voluntary hardship expands your comfort zone so that involuntary hardship becomes manageable. The fourth Stoic training method is journaling for self-examination. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as a private journal, never intended for publication. It was a tool for self-correction, self-encouragement, and self-examination. Every evening, he reviewed his day, noted his failures, and reminded himself of his principles. Seneca described his practice. "When the light has been removed and my wife, long aware of my habit, has become silent, I scan the whole of my day and retrace all my deeds and words. I conceal nothing from myself. I omit nothing. This brutal self-honesty is essential. You cannot fix what you cannot see. You cannot improve what you do not examine. Most people sleepwalk through their days, never pausing to evaluate their conduct against their values. The journal is a mirror for the soul. It forces confrontation with your actual behavior rather than your idealized self-image. It tracks patterns over time so you can identify recurring weaknesses. It creates accountability because you must face your failures in writing rather than letting them fade from memory. The fifth Stoic training method is the view from above. This is a meditation practice where you mentally zoom out from your current situation, seeing yourself from increasingly distant perspectives. First from above your room, then above your city, then above your country, then above the planet, then from the vastness of the cosmos. Marcus Aurelius practiced this regularly. Many of the anxieties that harass you are superfluous. Being but creatures of your own fancy, you can rid yourself of them and expand into an ampler region, letting your thoughts sweep over the entire universe, contemplating the illimitable tracts of eternity. This practice accomplishes several things. It puts your problems in perspective. From the view of the cosmos, your current crisis is invisible, irrelevant, a brief flicker in infinite space and time. This is not nihilism, it is proportion. Your problems matter to you, but understanding their cosmic insignificance prevents them from becoming overwhelming. The sixth Stoic training method is memento mori, the meditation on death. Keep death always before your eyes, the Stoics taught, not as a source of fear, but as a source of clarity and motivation. Death is the ultimate fact of existence. Everything else is negotiable, but death is certain. Using this certainty strategically transforms how you live. Marcus wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what is left and live it properly." What remains? Today, this hour, this moment. When you have already died in your imagination, everything becomes bonus time. Gratitude arises naturally because every experience is a gift you might not have received. The seventh Stoic training method is the discipline of assent. This is the practice of examining your initial impressions before accepting them as true. When something happens and your mind generates an interpretation, you do not automatically believe that interpretation. You question it. You test it against reason. You accept only what survives examination. Epictetus taught, "Do not say more to yourself than the first impressions report." You have been told that someone speaks ill of you. This is what you have been told. You have not been told that you were injured. The initial report is just data. The interpretation of injury is an addition made by your mind. You can refuse that addition. You can stay with the bare facts and not multiply suffering through elaboration. This practice is the key to emotional freedom. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is your power to choose your response. In your response lies your growth and freedom. The Stoics trained themselves to widen this space, to insert rigorous examination, to choose their interpretations deliberately rather than accepting whatever their untrained minds generated automatically. Now, let us discuss the battle you face every single day. Your mind is under constant attack, not from external enemies, but from internal weakness and external manipulation. The modern environment is designed to make you weak. Every comfort, every convenience, every easy pleasure trains you to be less capable, less resilient, less free. Social media exploits your need for validation. Advertising exploits your dissatisfaction. Entertainment exploits your desire for escape. Processed food exploits your taste for sugar, fat, and salt. Pornography exploits your sexual drives. Outrage media exploits your tribal instincts. You are surrounded by supernormal stimuli designed to hijack your brain's reward systems and leave you addicted, distracted, and weak. The Stoics face different challenges, but their solutions remain valid. Recognize what you control. Focus your energy there. Examine your impressions before accepting them. Practice discomfort voluntarily. Meditate on death regularly. Review your conduct daily. These practices create mental strength regardless of the external environment. You have a choice to make. You can continue drifting through life as a passenger in your own mind, reacting automatically to every stimulus, enslaved by comfort, chained by others' opinions, tortured by imagination, avoiding responsibility, fleeing from pain, and pretending you will live forever. Or you can begin the hard work of building an unbreakable mind. The Stoics did not become strong by accident. They did not develop resilience through hoping or wishing. They trained. Every day in specific ways with specific practices, they forged themselves into something stronger. You can do the same. You must do the same if you want anything more than a life of quiet desperation. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and the weight of an empire. He remained unshaken because he had spent decades preparing his mind for exactly such challenges. Seneca faced exile, the threat of execution, and the madness of emperors. He remained philosophical because he had practiced adversity until it held no power over him. Epictetus faced slavery and physical abuse. He remained free in the only way that matters, because he understood that his mind was the only thing that could never be taken from him. What challenges do you face? Whatever they are manageable for a trained mind. Whatever you are going through, it is survivable with the right psychological preparation. The question is whether you will do the work. The question is whether you will practice the methods. The question is whether you want to remain weak or finally become strong. Every morning you wake up is another opportunity to train. Every difficulty you encounter is another chance to practice. Every moment of your life is raw material for building the mind you want to have. The Stoics showed us the path. They proved it works under the most extreme conditions. Now it falls to you to walk that path. Seneca left us with this final reminder: begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not postpone your transformation. Do not assume you have time you may not have. The work of building an unbreakable mind begins now, in this moment, with your next choice. The weak will continue to make excuses. They will continue to blame circumstances, other people, society, their past. They will continue to avoid discomfort, seek validation, run from responsibility, and waste their lives on trivialities. Let them. You have different options. You have access to 2,000 years of tested psychological wisdom. You have the teachings of men who faced conditions far worse than yours and emerged victorious. You have the methods, the practices, the principles. All that remains is application. The Stoics built minds that emperors could not intimidate, that exile could not break, that slavery could not corrupt, that death itself could not frighten. These minds were not born. They were made. Through deliberate practice, through daily discipline, through relentless self-examination and constant improvement. Marcus Aurelius, writing to himself in the darkness of a military camp surrounded by plague and war, summarized everything. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Even in the darkest moments, beauty remains. Even in the greatest challenges, wonder persists. The unbreakable mind can hold difficulty and beauty simultaneously, can face death while celebrating life, can accept suffering while maintaining joy. This is what the Stoics achieved. This is what they can teach you. This is what separates the mentally strong from the mentally weak. Not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of preparation. Not the avoidance of pain, but the capacity to endure it. Not the denial of death, but the integration of it into a fully lived life. That's all for today. Stay dark, stay stoic. See you in the next one.